Hi, good morning. This is Andrew LOWSUTEA president. How are you? Well, today we have a very special arrangement. Before, we have given both bilingual type of webinar to help everyone understand things, how you manage diabetes. But now, because we have many people from Hawaii, from USA, Vancouver, Canada, and certainly Philippines and so forth. So we found that maybe better we can put a dedicated webinar mainly for the English speakers, and we have one for the Chinese speaker, which is done in the afternoon. But today, everything will be mainly in English, and I appreciate someone from from the Facebook also give me some likes. I appreciate that. This is really going to be wonderful. And the reason why we come up with this webinar is the following, because you know why? We found that a lot of people say, hey, during the holiday, how do I manage out my food intake, how to manage my diabetes, because it can be very stressful in holiday. As you know, everybody just worry about, wow, how you really manage the the typical holiday. And yeah, we understand that it's not easy in a way. But on the other hand, if you have sort of a plan what to do, and then maybe with that, you after the holiday, you start realizing, hey, my blood sugar didn't go up that high either. And especially we teach you how to select the type of food you're going to intake. Wow, that would be wonderful. And that was the intent of this lecture. And I hope that from this, you kind of alert yourself and say, oh, wow, it's so easy. Not hard to do. So with further delay, with no more further delay, we're going to give you the webinar now, and I will further explain what you got to do. Okay, so we're now going to go on this, and then can someone tell me you can see this webinar? Maybe Johnny, can you just give me a yes, one? Just give me a one, so we know that you are actually see the webinar through the Zoom. Well, so just give me a one if you can. Anyway, so topic today is how to manage diabetes and also pre-diabetic is the same thing, by the way, for your happy, healthy holidays. So that's today's webinar, basically, okay? And so today, the agenda first, we have 4 stages of diabetes, so we can know how LOWSUTEA will help you and what the 4 stages. So we'll give a few minutes to catch up, because we have a lot of people here that I'm not familiar with the name, so I figured they are just new to our group. So that's okay, and we'll give you some facts, diabetic, and then at the end of the day, give you some idea of the risk and symptom. And with that, the tips how to manage a diabetic for your happy holiday. And then we have a summary. Now, because we don't have, dual language now, so our webinar will be much shorter, and maybe, will be much more easy to understand. And I think that will be really good for everybody, okay? And first of all, I want to wish everybody happy Thanksgiving first, because I think United States people already had that Thanksgiving dinner. I got a lot of wonderful Thanksgiving message, and that was really cool. Catch up with many old friends and also new friends. As a matter of fact, quite a few of the patients actually wrote to me, say happy Thanksgiving and thanks for all these lectures I've been giving to them. So that's kind of really nice to let you folks appreciate what we are doing. Certainly what we do is so little. But when you actually understand diabetes management or pre-diabetic management, the benefit is humongous, because not only save you money, but also you achieve better health. And that's what we're trying to do. Okay, so let's do 4 stages of diabetic. Now, first of all, as you know, everybody go through 4 stages before move to actual diabetics, okay? So the first stage is very simple. Your LDL cholesterol going up, and then that will affect, your insulin that come out with the B cells. The B cells is the cells that take the sugar into the cells, the glucose into the cells. But because the LDL goes up, it damages your B cells. So the B cell no longer actually do this function, will continue to keep coming more B cell, but it doesn't take sugar in the cells. So it's going to start what they call insulin resistant. Now with that, your sugar is going to start rising in your blood vessels. So when the cholesterol and the sugar mix together, your blood becomes thick. Now that will become an issue for you, and it move to stage 2, because when your blood sugar and cholesterol become thick, it start plugging plaques everywhere. These kind of plaques. Now that is the key problem for all diabetics, because this plaque is going to start forming everywhere. And net result, it go to your brain, go to your heart, go to your kidney, go to anywhere you say the entire body. Now, certainly say, hey, you know what, diabetic, no problem. But the first year, yeah, no problem. Or pre-diabetic, no problem. First, second year. But as time goes on, when you have 10 years of diabetes, this problem is going to show up for sure. So that's the reason why we're going to teach you that, how to, maybe you don't even need to get down to pre-diabetic or diabetes. You need to have some form of treatment or some form of solution to help you decrease this kind of plaque forms. So if you don't do anything, you're going to move to stage 3. Now, stage 3 is very simple. Every doctors actually will measure you. What is your A1C? It's called hemoglobin A1C. Now, everybody have hemoglobin. It's like a little blood cells. And hemoglobin is the amount of blood sugar at percentage-wise attached to this hemoglobin. Now, for example, if you have 5.7% of sugar attached to hemoglobin, that means you are actually basically a normal person, less than that. But if you're over that, you know what's going to happen? You are now become a pre-diabetic from 5.7 to 6.4. It is really unfortunate though, because when you have that, the doctor will not give you any medication. They will just tell you, hey, you know what? You are pre-diabetic now. You have to really control your diet. Don't eat too many sweet. Majority doctor will tell you this. But unfortunately, when you have that, if you don't know how to manage, and the study shows that many of these pre-diabetic patients will change in 3 years, and the A1C will surpass 6.4, and eventually they become a diabetic patient. So these 4 stages are real. It's so easy to remember how this become a diabetic, and I will continue to remind that. And later on, I will show you some of the statistics. And statistic is getting scary. I can tell you that. Okay. Now, if you don't do anything, and you say, "Oh wow," people say, "Well, I don't know. I'm feeling good and no problem." But 10 years later, you are going to have some risk, and that risk will be stroke, diabetic coma, dementia. Now, dementia can be a real issue, because what happened is all this sugar plugging to your brain, and your brain don't get this information. Then you're going to start getting what? Dementia. You can't remember, okay? And I'm sure you have some relative who say, hey, have you eaten dinner yet? And ask you about 10, 15, 20 times within maybe 15 minutes. And a lot of people will say, oh my goodness, my mother-in-law is so nuts to keep asking me all these questions over and over again. Well, don't blame them, because they just can't remember. Reason is they just ask a question because of the plugging of the brain. They do not remember. So that is one of the really big risks, plus the stroke that can become around the corner. Now, also the eye will have cataract and glaucoma. You actually get blinding the eyes. I already saved quite a few of the patient who have blurry eye, got the doctor. They maybe save one eye. And so really can be scary, because these people are very young, 40, 50 years old. And you cannot see. Imagine that loss, partial vision when you are that young. Isn't that terrible? And then you damage your pancreas, they no longer come out with enough insulin for you. So you have to start inject insulin yourself. Now, more problem is when you have heart disease. Man, I tell you, that is going to be sad, because when the heart stops, you know what? You stop. So you don't want to be in that road at all. So basically, we'll hope that all these lecture understanding, you know how to manage and don't get the blood sugar going up and your cholesterol going up. So plug up your heart. And I'll tell you some story later on. customer actually come in with high cholesterol, and we'll ask them, I will certainly help them fix the cholesterol a bit, whereby they have cholesterol is like very high, over 140, all the way down to 100. But the problem, the plug is there already. So at the end of the day, you will continue to be plugged. So I asked one of my clients, say, hey, have you talked to a cardiologist? No, I don't have. And I said, well, you should maybe do that. And lucky he actually followed through. His coronary artery, 2 of them is stuck 96%. In other words, is partially pretty much plugged everything. And if we plug 100%, one of them die, you die. Okay, so you don't want to be in that role. And she was very appreciated because after that, she has a angioplasty with a stent. So net result, he felt that, you know, we kind of saved his life. Well, I don't think I saved his life, but I think what we have is just alert them, and then they can able to be, you know, really healthy, and I think we did our job. That's all we do. We don't want. I just want to make sure people feel alert, and that's why all these webinars, just to build awareness, build a conscious mind to understand what need to do and manage and what to watch for. And high blood pressure is another one, because of the fact that your blood vessel is all plugged up, your blood pressure goes up, and then you, with the high blood pressure, your blood vessel become hardened. And so all that will become an issue. And that result, you might have stroke, and that's all. That's why you're at risk of stroke. And eventually, if this is all plugged up, that's where you have a different issue with the vessels, okay? And then nerve damage is a big one. A lot of people don't realize nerve damage, you know, because when your blood sugars are up, your nerve can be damaged, and that can be even affect when you have heart attack, you don't know. I just came up with a video, it was really good, actually. The video basically is educated. You know, if you're diabetic, you might not feel the same impact of a typical person with heart attack, which have sharp pain, because the nerve damage are being done. You don't feel the pain. Wow, that's sad, because then you don't go see doctor, and next heart attack comes in, man, you are hit with heart, and then you die. And I don't want you to be that. Also, amputation. If you get injured, your nerve damage, you don't feel. It can be highly infected. It won't heal, and your leg become gangrene, and you get your leg chopped off. Now, 70% of the people who are diabetic have some form of kidney problem. It's diabetic neuropathy. And that is a common issue. If you don't take care of that, your kidney continue to fail, you know what? Then you end up with dialysis. Wow, how can you be? It's really a sad situation. And pregnancy complication, if you're gestation diabetic, you will become eventually moved to this stage, and whereby you know, your pregnancy will basically, you thought that way, I'm well, you know, after pregnant I have no diabetes, but you are at a high risk. So sometime in 5 years you convert to become a diabetic again. So you got to really watch. 30% of the diabetic patients have no sex function because they have no feel, the nerve damage. So that sexual dysfunction. So this is the kind of complication you are going to get if you don't take care of yourself with a type 2 diabetic. So really, at the end of the day, you might ask, well, how LOWSUTEA help me? Well, first of all, LOWSUTEA have 2 items already. The guava leaf bits, which help you to delay the absorption of blood sugar entering the blood vessels. Now, that is important, because after you eat, the blood sugar doesn't go to the vessel, then it's really good. But certainly, quite a few will all still do go to the vessel. Then you have bitter melon, which increase the insulin sensitivity and take the sugar back to the cells, so the cell have fuel and energy. And also it will excess sugar, cholesterol, and salt, it will dump it off in the urine. They don't reabsorb. So net result, they also help you to detox, and then your 3 high will go down, especially your blood sugar will go down, your cholesterol go down, and your salt will go down, and then you eventually dissolve. So your blood pressure also go down after the salt go down. A lot of people drank it, they say, hey, my swell went down. Wow, that's your leg swell I'm talking about went down. And matter of fact, I have a patient just came in there. He's a pretty young chap, but he already see that, wow, after I drink that, my blood, my leg swell had actually subsided. So that is a wonderful, wonderful thing to have. Now, our company is not only asking you to just drink LOWSUTEA. We want you to hold your hand throughout your diabetic journey. So that way you can be continue motivated and able to bring your A1C, whatever number, down to 5.7. And you might say, wow, can it be impossible? No, it's not, because a lot of people actually gone back to 5.7, but they will go put it up to also to about 5.7 to 6. But they will go around this number if they try hard to control your diet, follow our regime, drink LOWSUTEA, and then they exercise, they lower the weight, they actually listen to a webinar to manage and track the blood. So with that, I saw many of the patients actually with A1C more than 10 and bring it back down to about 6 or under 6, and even move to 5.7. Now, but it takes effort. I tell you that it takes effort. And that's our program. Our program, we consider diet, exercise, weight control, doctor webinar, and blood tracking. So you learn along the way. We're 100 webinars in our website and also in YouTube. You can able to freely listen to hope to help you to actually get the knowledge so you empower yourself to control your disease. Now, let's talk about some facts of diabetes, okay? Now, what is diabetes, by the way? What is type 2 diabetes? The majority of people are type 2 diabetic, and that's where we'll focus. Now, certainly there's type 1 diabetes, which is people born, but they don't have insulin, so that they have to inject insulin from a very young age. But what we try to talk about now is all mainly type 2 diabetic, which is 95% of the diabetic patients are type 2. And basically, their body just don't make enough insulin to help their glucose to go inside the vessels. And usually they are adult onset, meaning they are already adult, maybe 30 years old and start. Now as young as even 20-something have, but less, but it's getting more and more. And before it was all old age for 40, but surely now has common in the young adult and even kids. But the risk is here most important. If you are pre-diabetic, for sure, if you don't control 3 years, you have a great chance going to diabetes. And that's something that you want to truly prevent. Plus, if you're overweight, meaning my BMI is over 30, and I did not bring it back down to 25, you have also a high chance of diabetic. Now, if you are overweight, by the way, if you're overweight and you bring that just 10% of weight, in other words, if I'm 225, I bring it back to 200, it's a little more than 10%, your A1C will drop 1 point. Imagine that, 1 point. If I am 8, I will now be 7. Isn't that great? So do that. If I'm 45 years old, that is something you have to watch also. If your family have history of type 2 diabetic, most likely you will become one too. So you have to watch. Let me share with you. I have lots of family, and I asked them, how can you buy so many LOWSUTEA? We said, well, my dad is diabetes, my mom is diabetes, my sister diabetic, my brother is, and my uncle and auntie. So you buy one time with all these family at together. So really, at the end of the day, as you can see, many of these patients actually is a whole family chain. And that's really the facts of life, basically. Now, also, if you have a lifestyle, basically, I just like to stay home. I don't do anything much. And you kind of couch potato, watch TV a lot. Well, that will be a real issue, because at the end of the day, you'll be certainly overweight because you don't move, your blood sugars continue to go up. And well, net result, you will have a high risk to become a diabetic. And certainly gestation diabetes, if you're pregnant before, you're really a gestation, and now you even get well, you have a higher risk to be diabetes also. Now, some of the symptoms, the left side is actually really is the earliest sign. Usually you become a thirst, dry skin. By the way, pre-diabetic, a lot of people actually start with dry skin also. Then you have blurred vision, fatigue, tingling hand feeling, because now all these things is become nerve damage. Now you got to feel that. That you will also unexplained weight loss. It's not all chubby person with diabetes. You can suddenly become very thin. You become always hungry, want to eat. You have numbness, frequent urination. The sore doesn't heal. All that will become potential you are a diabetic. So these are some of the signs and symptoms you got to watch. Now, sad part is 80% of pre-diabetic patients, they don't know. They usually go to a doctor for a health check and voila. Oh, I'm a pre-diabetic now. Are you serious? Absolutely. So you really have to think about diabetic is not something that normal people just found out. Many discover this as in a very accident, if you will. So do think about that. Now, really at the end of the day, today's lecture is now holiday season coming up. I'm a pre-diabetic patient and also I'm a diabetes patient. Well, how I'm going to celebrate holiday? Do I just lock myself up and no more wonderful food? No, you want to go out and enjoy yourself. But only I teach you a way with tips how to enjoy your life during your holiday season. And I think that's wonderful because that's what we're trying to do right here. Now, certainly when you do that, you have to create a meal plan. Well, create a meal plan meaning that you have the healthy menu. When you invite to a party, it's good to also, when you invite a party, you can bring some healthy dish. Maybe you just bring a salad for them. So you can, at least you have some food that you know you can eat. So you can first share your healthy dish. Second is you can maintain a regular eating habit, meaning that if you eat at 6 p.m. every day or 6:30 p.m. every day, don't skip the meal before or at least eat something, normal eating time. Like, for example, you know you're going to be there 6:30, eat normal time, 6:30, good. But also have a small snack before the dinner if you have a late gathering. So maintain a regular eating habit is important because your blood sugar, you don't want to go up and down. So that's what you got to do. And then you have to drink moderately, meaning that you really, at the end of the day, alcohol, you drink a lot of beer, for example, is going to be, or wine, drinking can lead to also low blood, you can be actually increase your blood sugar also. So because all the cocktail would have sugary intake, so will be best actually limit your alcohol intake and never drink with a empty stomach, because if you drink empty stomach, it'll go much faster. And plus, alcohol, plus you have a lot of calories. You drink a lot of beer. So now they have low calorie beer. So drink some of those, or light beer or light dry wine, but drink half a quarter glass rather than high lot of glass. So that's to really not to do a lot of cocktail, because cocktail have a lot of sweet to make it drink tasty. So cocktail can be really a high carb item for you. So avoid some of those. And a small glass of red wine is perfectly fine, but not overly do it, because net result, you're going to have a problem with sugar at the end of the day. And now if you go to a buffet, for example, I think a lot of Christmas, people go to a buffet, or even go to a friend place, you're going to have a lot of food to be choose. So what you got to do is choose a lot of so-called non-starchy, high-fiber food. For example, first of all, if you bring some salad, you can go half a plate of salad. And then you can fill half a plate, you fill a half a plate of salad, you can fill a quarter plate of protein like fish, low fat chicken, low fat pork, that kind of food. And then you also choose 1/4 plate of high fiber starch with like brown rice, things like that. So you can able to manage that. You can right choice, rather than you scoop one big scoop of big white rice. That is not good, because that will really not going to help you a lot for your blood sugar. And really at the end of the day, also you need to skip things with high trans fat item. Plus, really in holiday, people will serve white bread, for example, rice and pasta. You have to choose the type of pasta with like whole grain pasta. If not, then maybe just skip the pasta or skip the rice or bread. Now, if you have bread, it's best to get, really whole wheat bread if you can. So that way, the white bread is not going to be good because that will help jack up your blood sugar, high blood sugar. So you don't want to do that. Plus, do not drink sugary drink, like, for example, juice and stuff like that. But it's important. Maybe you can bring a bottle of LOWSUTEA. I carry my bottle of LOWSUTEA even I go to buffet because, or I will bring just a bag of LOWSUTEA and ask the restaurant give me a hot water pot, so I dump my tea in there. But a lot of restaurant might not have pot. Then I bring my bottle with me. I just pour along the way, and I can drink my LOWSUTEA the whole evening without no problem. And you know what? If you have buffet, you drink LOWSUTEA, it definitely help you lower the blood sugar. Because before I eat and I measure myself and I say, hey, what is my blood sugar? And after I eat, if I drink LOWSUTEA, the blood sugar really comes down real fast. But if you don't, you know what? Your blood sugar can maintain very high for a long period of time. So definitely, if you have a buffet or a big meal, bring LOWSUTEA along and drink along the way. Now, also, in the buffet, you can eat slowly. Now, if you eat slowly, you know what? Your stomach will become full along the way, so you don't stuff yourself a lot more. So eat slowly. And also drink LOWSUTEA 1 cup before, so you fill your stomach already LOWSUTEA fluid, so that way you really do not feel that you're going to eat a lot more. And so you also make sure to choose like protein with fish, as I said, talk about skinless chicken, because skinless means no fat, turkey, egg beef, lentil bean, and then you can choose low carb dessert and high fiber grains type of food. Now, a lot of people don't realize you do have low carb dessert in restaurant now, because a lot of restaurants are really trying to satisfy many people they are diabetes. Now, I found that certainly low carb is hard to come by, but a lot of restaurants do have that. So you can look into it and see what is the one that has the low carb. Sometimes the cheesecake looks really good, but they might be low carb because they don't use as much flour to do that type of cake. So do check and ask the restaurant people, or ask your friend if you go to a friend home or a buffet dinner. Wow, is there anything is low carb or so to see what they can do. If not, just eat a little bit. Don't eat indulge yourself too much. Okay. But also another thing is avoid using butter and margarine, because more oil goes in, and butter that increase your fat intake. And then avoid starch with heavy sauce, for example, and take protein-rich beans dishes would be better. And certainly drink LOWSUTEA would be good. Unsweetening free beverages. Sometimes you gotta be careful, because you thought that, oh, all the stuff are unsweetened beverage. Yes, but don't overdo it, because then your brain will say, hey, I got some sweet, I need more sweet. So that result, you got to be careful not to overdo the sugar-free beverages. Like I have Equals, but if you have Splendid, it's actually better than Equals, by the way, because it doesn't have more of the issue of leading you to other side effects. So if you can use Splendid, it's better to use Splendid. And drink LOWSUTEA along the way. As a matter of fact, I was inspired by many of our users in the US. They like to have cold iced tea. And what they did is actually, after they steeped the tea in this bottle, for example, and what they did is they put 1 bag of Splendid into 1 liter bottle, and they squeezed 20 mils of lime. So they make the tea taste really good as ice. And they drink whole day long, and they drink the 2 bottles. They put it into the refrigerator. So now, matter of fact, many people come back and say, hey, I used to buy maybe 2-3 cups of coffee. Now I only get 1 cup of coffee. Rest of the day, you know what? It's all LOWSUTEA. And you know what? I saved lots of money. Before they pay $5 to $10 for coffee. Now they spend only $1.50 per day just for LOWSUTEA. Wow, isn't that cool? Save money and also lower your blood cholesterol, blood pressure, and blood sugar, and all hit really well. Now, just to give you some idea what is a friendly holiday food, for example. Now, apple salad definitely is good. Rosemary turkey breast will be good. Healthy pumpkin pie is good. Salmon is good. Hazelnut with almond broccoli, boscassi is good. Also, green bean salad is good. So all these keto cheesecake is good. If you can get a keto cheesecake, it's really good because they are keto and you're less carb, basically. You just use less carbs to make your cheesecake. And I have some recipe I actually shared with you previously. Maybe I should do one lecture down the road to do just the keto cheesecake. And certainly there are low-fat pudding, avocado chocolate mousse, for example, apple cider bar, low-fat brownies. All these are very good stuff. So do think about these are the kind of stuff that you can able to ask for, or you made it for your friends, for example. Then you can share your dessert with your friend's house. Now, also after eat, don't forget you can do exercise. Now, best is actually have brisk walking every day already, right? You do 30-minute walk fast. Now, also you can do some low impact exercise, like make sure that the exercise you walk, instead of walking, jumping, running, for example. Those are really better low impact exercise, because running really the knee will be very, very a lot of trauma to the knee, boom, 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 right? So you can do it easily. And also you can take Tai Chi, for example, improve your balance and reduce the nerve damage. But walking is probably one of the better things to do, because especially when you walk, you actually have your exercise your leg, and on top of that, you keep moving to burn up your blood sugar along the way. Even better if you have, like, for example, a lot of people will say, hey, I'm slowing outside, and people from Chicago or different places, it's cold. So I suggest that you buy a Stepmaster. All you do walk on the watching TV while you're watching Stepmaster, using a Stepmaster to go up and down. And then you have a barbell, go up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. You know what? When you do this for 30 minutes, you burn 300 calories. On top of that, you burn, besides burning calories, burn up all your sugars, excess sugar. And so that is really helpful. And you don't even have to go outside because it's cold. Okay, we all understand that. But you have places not cold, you can walk. Then it's great to have walked 30 minutes per day. And especially after dinner, you should walk, okay? And sometimes you also can do yogurt to improve your nerve function and lower stress. And try also activities of swimming. If you have an indoor swimming pool or outdoor swimming pool, is good too. My brother-in-law, every day, he will go to our monitor to swim for half an hour or so. Wow, I think that's a real good exercise and definitely help him for his condition as a pre-diabetic. So all these things can able to help you to even better. Now, certainly you can bike or do basketball, it will be good, but walk is still the best. So you can do hours after 1 to 3 hours after eating. It will be wonderful to help you to lower your blood sugar. Walk after you eat is the best. So do walk after eat, okay? So exercise definitely help you, to lower your blood sugar along the way. Matter of fact, if you have a Abbott Libby, if you see yourself before walking, what is the blood sugar? And after walking, you also check your blood sugar. You will see the blood sugar just go whoop, come down. So isn't that wonderful? And also you have to focus your mental health. Now, holiday can be very stressful. As you know, you have to prepare your food, for example, and you have to basically guests coming in, and you really stressful do your preparation to clean your house, whatever. So, hey, take it easy. Don't worry. And so at the end of the day, things will come out. So don't stress yourself out. But certainly with stress, you do some of the breathing exercise. Take deep breath. Take deep breath. And with that, you lower your, because you take deep breath, relax, you actually lower your blood pressure. You also lower your blood sugars because the stress will pump blood sugars up, right? You can do meditation. You also do some reading. Make sure you have enough sleep. Night before your party, make sure you have good sleep. Not enough sleep, you definitely stressed, okay? And certainly, a lot of time, some people are like, I like to go to gardening or walk with my dog. That is good too, because all these activities just help you to get yourself a little more enjoyment, relaxing the view, out there, and basically life is so much more happier. So remember, when you go to holiday, it is a time to gather to your friends, talk about your wonderful things that are happening to you, spending time with them, talking to them. You will definitely decrease stress. And with lower stress, it would better help you on your blood sugar. Your best possible is to enjoy the evening, the whole season, and about, healthy eating, when you go to people to eat. And actually also, even with the festival, important to see your friend, because when you see your friends, actually, it better improve your mental health. It better help you to better relax, share your happiness, and talk about what's happening in your happy time. So all those are good things for you. And net result, you will so much more enjoy in a holiday season. So importantly, we got to understand, when you manage your blood sugar level, even you're pre-diabetic or diabetic, doesn't matter. You have to create a meal plan. You got to figure out what you're going to eat in the holiday, right? And then you have to maintain your regular eating habit. For example, you have to eat a certain time at 6:30 or 6 o'clock. Stay with that. If the party go late, well, eat some snack before you do that. A healthy snack, meaning some vegetable, like even celeries, for example. That will be okay. Now, drink moderately, meaning that you don't drink a lot of beer. 6-pack is not good for you, but drink a little bit beer or a little red wine, half a glass or quarter glass. That would be good. Try to choose your food. And the right type of food is, like, for example, half plate of salad, 1/4 plate of protein, which like fish, low-fat chicken, that kind of stuff. And then a quarter plate of your starch, like beans, high fiber red rice, for example, brown rice. It's okay. All those things are good for you. And don't forget to exercise, because after dinner, you can go walk half an hour. That would really good, relax you. Plus, it burn off all your excess sugar in your bloodstream. And focus on your mental health. Don't let all the preparation of dinner will stress you. Relax, listen to some music, or doing music while you're doing all these tasks, okay? And remember, also drink LOWSUTEA pre and post meal. And that is very important. Why pre-meal? Because of the fact that LOWSUTEA guava leaves that help you to coat the stomach, so delay the sugar absorption. And after meal, the LOWSUTEA will actually increase your insulin sensitivity, so the blood sugar will go to the cells that feel excess blood sugar. The bitter melon will actually help you dump it off, to dump your blood sugar out the urine, dump your cholesterol out of urine, and also dump your salt. Eventually, your blood pressure also come down. You also detox, and also your leg swell, whatever, will start going down. Wow, isn't that wonderful? So that is something that you're going to do. Now, remember, diabetes or pre-diabetic is truly a chronic illness that you don't get well. All you can do is control. Like if you are pre-diabetic now, you don't control, you will turn to diabetes. So you got to continue to take seriously to make control, so you don't eventually develop serious diabetic complication. Pre-diabetic also need to control the blood sugar, prevent converting. So really, at the end of the day, what you got to do, how to control that is by dieting your diet. So you have low carb diet, 150 grams per meal. I mean, not per meal, per day. So you know you have 150 grams of carbs you can take to manage that, all right? So you also need to exercise at least 150 minutes per week. And weight management, meaning that if you're low 10% of your weight, you can actually help you to lower your A1C 1 point. And that's really meaningful. That result, you can control your diabetes and pre-diabetic. So your diet change, your lifestyle change, no more white food, no soda, juice, and so forth, will definitely help you to control your diabetes and prevent you from pre-diabetic to go to diabetic. Okay, this is today's webinar. And certainly drink LOWSUTEA, by the way, and definitely will help. After you drink LOWSUTEA, you notice your blood sugar continue to come down. So today is the webinar. I hope this is can sort of give you a much easier understanding, fast, and I'll experiment this, whether that will help. I appreciate that you give me a like if you can on Facebook, and give me some comments, what you think. If you are all in English, will it help you to make it easier to understand and also faster? So our webinar will probably change in this format for about half an hour to 45 minutes. That's it, webinar, so easy. So any question for the group? Just want to check. Certainly you can welcome to write to us. And we have LOWSUTEA.com in Hawaii now, also in Hong Kong. And so you can write to us. And definitely would love to answer a question. And on top of that, you know, if you need to look for more information of a website, we have all that information of a website from Hong Kong also, which has all the basic like webinar and all the information are there, so you can go inside, click, and so forth. Okay, so don't forget, you got to exercise and keep up to drinking LOWSUTEA. That will be very helpful. And this is our WhatsApp number. In case you need to have that, you can actually WhatsApp us or write to us. And at the end of the day, we always love to hear from you. Okay, thank you very much for all the help. And we're looking forward to, if you have no question, we're looking forward to meet you next week again. Thank you again. You take care. Bye-bye. Thanks, Edwina. Have a nice weekend. Talk to you soon. You take care.